like 1 to 10, or you're at a 3 right now, and or really,
no,
you keep that information to yourself?
Well, I just don't think it's very beneficial. I mean, my whole thing is to support and to nurture them as much as possible, and to give them the strength and the courage that they're lacking a bit, so that they can really be standing in their power and being the best that they can be. I mean, my goal is to get people to the best that they can be. So there's no judgment here, and the worst I do is pointing out the inner dialogue and images that people hold at their core that stop them from being who they really are.
And so I read on your website too that in one session, people see profound changes in shifts. And I know a lot of people in this environment right now have this money issue. A lot of people are talking about that, which I don't like to talk about because I think it's very positive, everything that's going on. I'm living in my own world, but people do probably, especially in the business world, want to they're reaching their dreams. They're pushing beyond their past limits. What do you think? And you don't have to, of course, reveal any confidential information, but what do you think is the most common thing that blocks people from their success when you see their energy and what's going on?
Well, it's always how they feel about themselves, and it's just about finding the inner picture that they're holding of themselves, or the inner dialogue, which always stems from childhood. And whenever I work with someone on that, it's such a huge release. I've never had anyone say anything apart from having that specific session, and sometimes it takes a couple of sessions, or, not so long ago, I had a referral from a client, and I didn't know her from Adam, and I started working with her, and we just couldn't stop because we got into the nitty-gritty. I spent 2 hours with her. It might have been 2 hours and 15 minutes, but she was done after that, and she emailed me back, a few days later, because it took her a few days to get herself together and stuff, and she said that she literally felt as though she'd had 5 years of therapy, and she just couldn't believe it. And it wasn't that astounding to me, because once we get to that place and remove that block, it is like having 5 years of therapy.
And I've been witness to energy work before, and even with hypnosis, a lot of shifting those core beliefs on the subconscious level. It's like the root of the problem. Instead of a lot of people try to think positive, and they're doing their affirmations, and they're getting this on a conscious level. They're logically knowing, I should think positive, and I know that if I think positive and visualize and do my dream board, everything's going to be fine. But that inner world, the subconscious and the energy, which is part of the subconscious mind, or subconscious mind is part of the energy, I don't know which came first, there's stuff in there that we're not conscious of that could really be blocking us. And if you go to someone to help you, because it's really hard to find it yourself. I mean, it's really hard to look within yourself and find it unless you're really good at doing like self-hypnosis or energy work on yourself and really searching to have someone assist you in seeing that blind spot. It's really powerful. And that's
and
why
also you have
successful.
To be honest and hold yourself accountable to do it on your own. I mean, I go to people for stuff because I know that I can't do it for me as easily as, you can do it for me.
Mm-hmm. And Steve in the chat room says, putting chocolate on top of the caca, laughing out loud. I guess that's what a lot of people do. They just kind of make it all pretty, and they write their checks from the universe and do their little scenario. and then they're like, why isn't it working? Why isn't the law of attraction working? And it's not working because there's something unconscious that you're not addressing. And that's okay, Steve. You can be graphic. It's the Love Coach Show. Anything goes here. And so we're almost out of time.
And if you are putting the chocolate on the poo, eventually eventually you'll stop having the poo as much coming up. It's just, creating your own default. It's just that going to, a coach like me or you helps you to move faster through that process than you ever would have, like 3 or 5 or 6 or 10 years.
Well, you know how you said, like, eventually it will come through? One of the ideas that I try to reiterate a lot is that one suggestion in a hypnotic state, in an altered state, equals 1,000 affirmations. So if you're conscious and you're just doing it on a conscious level, it takes 1,000 times for that idea to get down to the subconscious. And since we have, thousands and thousands and millions of bytes of information that flow through our mind every day, I mean, it's kind of like putting an eyedropper in an ocean. And if you can kind of change the tide of the ocean, that's where the issue is. And another way I describe it is if you want to paint, say you have a brown wall and it's this really ugly color and you want to paint it nice and bright and have a bright life, and you take white paint, you have to do a couple coats, maybe 5, 10 coats before you don't see the brown anymore. But with this type of work, you're basically stripping off the old paint and putting on the fresh paint, which stays and it's easier to apply, and it just takes, obviously if you want to paint a room, that's how you would do it. You would strip off the old stuff.
Yeah, and I like to use either analogies. It's like removing an old program and installing a new program. Otherwise, it's like trying to run 2 programs simultaneously when one is much, much stronger than the other one.
And there's something about the subconscious that it actually puts your emotions in priority order. And pain and ache have a higher priority than love and joy in the ego mind. Because it's more intense. It's more, and so when we stored information as a kid, the pain and suffering thoughts actually get top priority, and the joyful thoughts kind of get buried. And so if you kind of clear those out, you can actually have more access to joy.
Yep.
And so we're getting to the end of the show.